is this the first? Okay, I'll just put my phone on silent mode. Hello, everyone. I'm Sneha, and welcome to this experiential conversation series, part two, Our People Pleasing Mom. So, Payal, we have been associated for some time. Suma, how about you? How did you come to know about this?
I'm not sure, but I'm following you from few days, I believe. Based
Okay,
on your post, I randomly saw something like that, and then I saw your status on this, and
okay. You're most welcome. I hope you learned something from it. So, have you been a part of such conversations?
yeah. Like from last 4 5 years, yes.
Okay, great. Great.
Thank you.
So, no, this is a safe space. And the mode we follow is first of all, I will be giving you some insights of how it operates, whatever topic we choose. So, for example, today it is people pleasing mom. So, I'll give you an insight from somehow from my story, from my personal life, and then you're free to reflect it on your own life. Then I will help you explain the systemic lens of it, how it affects the person and the descendants of that person. And then we'll do one small exercise and then it will be open to sharing and questions. Okay. So, mothers, I guess, are not humans. They are superhumans. They are expected to do everything, right? From being a wife, attending to all the household chores, and then the different tasks, as well as taking care of the in laws or the extended family members. Then it is about the kids and fulfilling all the social obligations. So she is indeed wearing a lot of capes. And somehow, when she does that, she forgets that she is a human too, or the child which has come through her is a human, is a separate identity too. Somehow, that child becomes a reflection of how good her parenting is. So, I belong to a typical Marwadi community wherein a woman is expected to be perfect. She has to be perfect in terms of shopping, maintaining the house, organizing the house, taking care of the in laws and the extended family members, ensuring that the kids are well dressed and well fed. Then they do well in exams and in their education. So she is expected to be, super perfect. And my mom was also like that. No exception here. So I remember I'm the community where I belong, a woman's parameter of success is determined by all these tick marks, including how well she has raised her daughter. Because this daughter is going to be married in another household, and the way she performs her duties there will be a report card or a certificate of how good a mother is. And this training starts from the moment the daughter is born. At least in our community, they'll start worrying. By the age of 3 4, she's expected to take care of small little things like ensuring whenever the guests are coming, ensuring that they are well respected. This I was doing from the ages of 3 or 4. I remember when I was approximately 8 or 9 years old, few of my distant relatives came, and usually they are so-called mom's good friends. And whenever there is a good friend of a mother, ensure that she is going to make your life a hell because she will give all the gyan and advice to your mom. So, so those good friends, akka relatives of my mom, they came and they started telling my mother about a girl who my mother did not know, but they knew. So they told them told my mother about the girl, that how she is just 14 years old, but she takes care of the entire family. She can cook the meal. And when her mother goes out for grocery shopping, she chops the vegetables and, prepares uh, dough, and then she will also clean the mats and the dining table once everyone has finished, and then she will also study. And they were feeling so proud, and they were telling that, whosoever is married to this girl will be so lucky. And that was the day I was just 9 years old, probably in fourth standard. And from the next day, my mom started my training. I was expected to come from school, do my homework, and then in the evening help mom in the kitchen. And then when she will cook the food, I have to clean the kitchen platform. And then when everyone will finish the food, then I have to, clean the dining table. And she started doing it daily. It wasn't a one day affair. So from 10 years old, when I was 10, I could perfectly cook everything. I was able to even cook chapatis, although they were not perfectly round, but they were quite manageable. And gradually, by the ages of 11, my mom stopped cooking dinner altogether. So I would come from the school, do my work, go to the tuition, study, complete my homework, and by 6 o'clock, I have to be in the kitchen and cook the food. Then another friend of my mom told her that, she is not that fair. So you should start applying all those uptan. So from that day, my mom started telling me that, when night, you should apply uptan and clean and then take a bath. Then there were other things like the way I should be dressed. I was not even allowed as a 10, 12-year-old kid. I wasn't allowed to wear shorts because it wasn't considered appropriate. What will people say? I wasn't even asked to mingle up with boys. I studied in Kuwait, but then I was not allowed to. Boys were not supposed to give a phone call at my house, or even I wasn't supposed to do anything. I wasn't supposed to go to birthday parties or the fun elements. So, this may not go to this extreme in everyone's life, but everyone has been affected because the primary caregiver, which is usually the mother, is affected by what will people say. And this thought, what will people say, is so much ingrained in her, and the approval, the validation that she needs from other people is so much embedded in her psyche that that is how she feels that she will be loved and appreciated. However, this comes from her own background, because in her psyche, in her mental and emotional state, it is her that form of appreciation or approval is equal to love. But what happens when this woman is a mother too? The child starts believing that they have to be someone in order to be loved. They have to constantly perform and make others' life comfortable in order to be loved. They start believing that there are so many limitations in me, and until and unless I keep on giving and outperforming, I will not be loved. The child starts believing that maybe the way I look, maybe the way I dress is inappropriate. And from these beliefs, which I had as a 9 year, 10 year, 11-year old, probably, certain subpersonalities started forming. I became a pleaser and a giver. So if you have a people pleasing mom, in all probabilities, you will be a pleaser or a overgiver in your relationship. I became a perfectionist. Everything and anything I do has to be very beautiful, very perfect, including the way I cut a salad. It has to be perfect. It has to be plated in an appropriate manner, very appealing to eyes. I became very critical, highly critical of myself. I started believing that this is not enough. I am not enough. And I had become a competitive person in this manner. That whosoever is gaining attention, I'll start competing with them in my mind. It wasn't to bring them down, but to make myself higher than them or at least equal to them. This competitive psychology or this mindset was so powerful in me that I will set timers in my mind. Okay, it's 6:10. Let me see if I can cook this dish in 20 minutes. I had started multitasking. I will listen to my music or I will, keep on reading while sorting the vegetables because I had to be perfect. So this competitiveness kicked in. And whenever someone would get that appreciation by my relatives, even someone unknown to me, or if my mom pleased someone or appreciated someone, a jealousy would kick in. And without any reason, without meeting that person, I would start feeling jealous of them. If someone is good looking than me, I will feel a sense of, I would say, inhibition or maybe a kind of resentment. And I would just not talk to them properly. Or I will show that I'm very superior to you. I started becoming perfectionist in all the forms. I started taking my academics very seriously. And I would really get good marks and good grades in my school. And then I guess from a very small age, I started cooking my tiffin as well in the mornings, most of the times. And I would, show my friends that look, I got up in the morning, I cooked the food, and then I did my homework, and people were like, wow. The love which I couldn't receive there, I started finding it in different places. I started finding it in my school and my college, with my teachers, from my friends. And the only way to get that love, which I thought in my psyche, was by doing and outperforming. Again, giving, giving, and giving. I never know how to receive. I couldn't understand how to receive. When that appreciation would come, it will give me a momentary high. And then again, I will go to another thing. What can I do to get that appreciation again? It was like I was going in this endless chase where I would never get satisfied, even if someone is appreciating or acknowledging me. Many times when random people will acknowledge me or appreciate me, I will start thinking either they have some ulterior motives or they are not just serious about it, they don't mean it. Maybe they are just having fun. I will not believe in the compliments which are given to me, and yet I will chase for it because for me also that appreciation was equivalent to love. So when I kept on giving, 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 when I became an overgiver, when I started suppressing myself and, chased for that love everywhere in all the relationships, in all the places, in all the pockets of time, wherever I could, what happened was that I just failed to understand myself. I was so disconnected to myself that what I truly want, what made me happy. The concept of self, the self concept was something very alien to me. It was like everything has to be done. so that people can appreciate you, people can acknowledge you, and when people appreciate you, acknowledge you, they love you and respect you. That was the only definition which I had. And because of this void kept on getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. Because no matter how much I do, it was never enough for me. The appreciation would only last for a few seconds, the love would only last for a few moments. This void kept on getting wider. And then, with this void kept on getting wider and wider, what happened? A deep core belief, which was seated when I was 9 or 10 year old, that I am not good enough or I had to do something for love, this became stronger and stronger. So all the things, all the ways through which I cope by being a perfectionist, by being an overgiver, by performing everything, by multitasking, all those coping mechanisms started collapsing. And by the time I got married, where I had to actually perform, where I had to actually, ensure that everyone is well kept and well fed and everyone is very comfortable with me, those coping mechanisms simply dropped. Without any reason, I started questioning everyone around me, everything around me, everything, including myself. So those coping mechanisms did help me. It helped me to gain good grades. It helped me to be an excellent student. It helped me to get the best placements. It allowed me to get the best student awards in every institute I went. But when life truly chased me, I was left with nothing. Uh, is my voice echoing, Suma?
There is a noise coming in along with your
Okay, let me just check. Is it better now? Okay, thank you for informing. So at that moment, I started feeling that I'm not good enough. But the only way to feel good enough was again by doing and performing. So I started doing that thing again. But because I was doing it for so long, I started feeling resentful that no one actually sees me. No one sees how much I have done. No one acknowledges me. And these complaints set in, the bitterness set in. What happened then, because I give that agency, that power to everyone else around me to make me feel loved, to make me feel appreciated, to make validate me, what happened eventually was that my boundaries were completely blurred. In fact, they were invisible. Anyone and everyone could come and say anything to me the way they would like to. People would simply do not have any filter because I did not had any boundary. Back then, I did not realize it, but now I can connect the dots whenever I look back. When the boundaries were not there, and anyone would come and say anything, and since I already had given that agency, that power to anyone else, everyone else, what happened? My self concept crashed. I believe that I will never find love. I will, in fact, being in that relationship as well, I felt that I could not be loved. And what I believe the universe gave to me. In every single day of my relationship, I felt that I'm not. And it all started. Yes, we can blame the circumstances. Yes, there were some unfortunate circumstances which triggered this belief, which solidified this belief. Yes, there were certain people who did wrong to me, who hurt me, and it really affected me very badly. It shook me and my entire world. But the truth remains that this feeling was always with me. This feeling was with me because that is how I was loved by my mother. When you are a people pleaser, when your mom is a people pleaser, or when your parents are people pleaser, the primary definition is everyone else matter. Everyone else opinions matter. And when this people pleasing tendency is a continuous day to day affair, what happens is the mother starts feeling that burnt out, that exhaustion. And she has no way, no place to release it. And the only place where she releases this burnt out, this exhaustion, is on her kids. She may spank them, she may scold them, she may yell at them, or she may just criticize them. Or she may just tell them, you should do this, you should not do this. And she's all doing it with the best of intentions. She just wants her child to be very well accepted because for her, acceptance is equal to love. So she might be doing it with the best of the intentions. But what exactly happening in the child's psyche is that this child has a zero self concept, zero self esteem. And when this child grows up as an adult in all her relationships, she fails miserably. She feels unloved. And the other person might be saying that this is not the case. I love you very much. The other person might be doing everything as well. But this void is so deep, this well is so deep and big that nothing can be filled. Nothing can fill it. And I never realized it until unless I had kids. So my kids, my elder one was just a preterm born at 8 months old, and he was very thin, partly because he had my genetics. Even my husband is thinly built, but I didn't realize how this people pleasing tendency was coming in, that even though he was well fed, he would not gain weight in terms of muscle mass. And I would just force feed him because I wanted to show to the world how good our mother is. Then my kid was not willing to, explore different classes. I just pushed him because I wanted to show that look how I am managing so many things. I'm managing my job, I'm managing my house, I'm managing my kids, I'm engaging in each and every activity. And then COVID hit. And my kids have, because both of my children have eyesight issues, they could not go through that online schooling. So I decided I will homeschool. This is what people pleasers do, right? They'd want to do everything. So I started teaching them, and those 3, 4 months were excellent. They were enjoying a lot because mama is spending so much of time, and they were improving drastically. And this people pleaser inside me also had this self critic, this whole critical and judgmental person. And I started judging the school. Why they are charging so much of fees? They didn't even teach anything. And look how much I have taught. My child has so much of potential. And no one can explore this unless until it is me. So I doubled the efforts. And as expected, my children felt exhausted. They simply didn't want to. And I would start. You can't do this. Why can't you draw a straight line? You have to draw this. You do this, should do this, should not do this. And my children distanced with me considerably. This distance again triggered me because what will people say? You know, she's not even connected to her own children. As a mother, this is the worst thing that could happen to me. People complaining and questioning my mothering skills, my parenting skills. And I started venting out. I started getting angrier and angrier. I would hit my kids, spank them. And my children would tell me, Mama, you're always angry, and I will get angrier. How could you say this to me? You should not talk to me like this. And they were just 3-year-old, 4-year-old kids. So a people pleaser starts expecting a parent, especially a people pleaser parent, start expecting their children to behave like an adult. Thankfully, one of my anger burst was so strong that I literally could have hurt my kid very badly, or I might have, killed him as well. It was that bad. And that was the time I realized that something is wrong with me. And my inner work journey started from there on. And when I went to my roots, I realized that it was never about me. As a mom, as my mother, she always wanted to feel that love, what a good parent she is. She wanted that certificate from them. It was about her need of being loved, which she was fulfilling through me. And when I went deeper, I realized how she as a kid was raised. She was a handicapped child by birth. She had pretty dark complexion while both her parents were quite fair. And in those days, complexion was a parameter of what the kind of groom or the family the girl would attract. Plus, being handicapped, she always felt that need to be approval. And then when she was just 2 years, 2.5 year old, her younger sister was forcibly given away for adoption in the family. Imagine the child, what would she think? That if this child could be given away, who is so beautiful, and why would my parents not give me? And then from that moment, her people pleasing tendency kicked in. She just wanted to get that approval and love so that she could feel safe. This I couldn't understand when I was a child. This I couldn't understand when I became a mother. This I understood when I did my inner. So even though we see our sub-personalities being formed and shaped because of the experience of our childhood, it is very important to see why our parents behaved the way they did. Because if we'll just limit ourselves to the experiences of childhood, what will happen is we'll start judging and resenting our parents more. And since we have come through them, we have come 50% of our DNA is from our father and 50% of our DNA is from our mother. If we resent those childhood experiences, we are essentially resenting our parents and judging them. And the more we judge, the more we reject, we eventually merge with them, doing exactly those things which we judge them for. This, in intergenerational language, is known as a type of entanglement, which is known as rejection plus merging, where whatever we reject in our parent, we eventually follow that in our life. Either we do it in our own life, or we attract a partner who will do that to us. We attract the life circumstances that will exactly make us feel that way. And therefore, merely going to the childhood experiences will never be sufficient. It will give you a lot of answers, it will give you a lot of healing, but it will not fulfill you. It will not give you the peace which you are looking for, because just going to the childhood experiences will help you understand that, okay, it wasn't about me. But it will not help you understand why my parent did what they did. It was only when I'll go back into my parents' childhood, into the kind of parents they had, the kind of parenting they had, the set of environment and the circumstances in which they were brought up, that is the only time when I will truly understand and feel it in my soul that this wasn't about me. She was just teaching a language which she has been told, and she was doing it with the best of intentions. When we go through that part of our parents' childhood, or maybe some generations before that, we realize that it is just a language of love. Everything, even the worst of the things happen in to an individual because of an unconscious loyalty towards their family of origin, because of that unconscious feeling of belongingness. And this is unconscious because that is how we feel belong. That if someone is suffering, we have to suffer. That is how we can belong in that group. This is this unconscious wiring. When we start healing, when we start working on those inner wounds, those beliefs, that's when we realize that we can belong to them in a very different manner. And there, from there, the consciousness kicks in, where we decide how we would like to belong to our family of origins. How would we like to understand this language of love? And how would we like to pass this love to our descendants? And this is a continuous journey. And the beauty of it is partly because of epigenetics, because certain genes cannot be modified. And we are so blessed that all these experiences are a part of epigenetics, which allows us to change those beliefs. And from that, we can change the genetic structure. And when we change the genetic structure, our descendants, our children, their children will not have to go through what we have gone through. And that is the beauty of inner work. So, this was my story of how my people pleasing mom shaped me as a person, how it helped me to find myself again. Because those things which held me back also had the resources through which I can prosper, I can bloom in my own time, which will allow me to see my children as humans, as separate people, and they do not have to do anything to give me a certificate of parenting. It helped me to take my agency back. It helped me to take my respect, the power back to myself. And when I did that, no longer, no one, including my children, were responsible to make me feel the way I could see them as separate human beings who have nothing to do with me except they have come through me and I am there for a certain time to help them until they find their own path. But again, the path cannot be decided by me. So, with this awareness, I would do a small exercise with you, okay? And I would like you to close your eyes, sit back and relax, and just close your eyes. Inhale and exhale. If possible, keep your mouth slightly open and exhale from your mouth. If you are sitting cross-legged, then it's okay. If you are sitting on a chair, ensure that there is a gap between your knees and behind your knees. Keep your feet firmly on the ground. And if you're sitting cross-legged, then it is absolutely fine. Keep your back straight and keep on inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring your awareness to your breath. Feel your breath traveling from your nose towards your forehead, to the crown, to the back of your head. Feel it in your neck, your throat, your shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrist, palms, and fingers. Feel this breath in your chest. Feel the expansion and contraction of your lungs. Feel it in your upper abdomen, your lower abdomen. Keep on breathing in and out and feel the breath in your upper back, your middle back, and your lower back. Feel your breath in your pelvic floor and genitals, your thighs, knees, shin bone, calf muscles, ankles, feet, and the toes. Keep on inhaling and exhaling. And as you keep on inhaling and exhaling, being fully aware of your body, being fully aware of your breath, just visualize yourself how your mother had not given you a priority because of her some people pleasing tendency. Allow yourself to go back to this incident. It could come naturally. This incident from this lifetime where your mom told you to behave or do certain thing in a certain way because that is what is acceptable by others. And as you go back to that scene, world, I'm so sorry the internet went off. Let's go back to that scene. And as you go back to that,
I honestly don't know if it's me who is lost or
Her video is gone.
okay.
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, I don't know what is happening. The internet was going on. Okay, well, I have joined from my mobile. We'll continue from this. So let's go back there. Go to that incident, go to that belief. That belief, that decision which you had made, and find it in a place in your body. And create a big open window. And breathe this belief out of your body. Keep your mouth slightly open and breathe it out of your body. Keep breathing it out. Keep breathing it out. And as you breathe out this belief, I want you to bring a big, big mirror in front of your mom or your dad or whosoever it is concerned who was involved in this incident. I want you to bring a big, big mirror and let that person stand in front of that mirror such that the entire reflection of that person is visible in the mirror. And you go and stand somewhere far where you can see what is happening in the mirror, but your reflection will not be visible in there. Take some time and set it up. Let me know when you have done that. Is the mirror placed? And now the reason why your mom or that person involved has behaved in a certain manner will appear in that mirror and will just move like a scene. And just witness that scene, how that person did behaving this way, what was the reason behind it, what shaped him or her. And as you keep doing that, and as the key scene replays, you might now have understood or you might have an understanding of why the person behaved, what made them the way they are, what shaped them, what shaped them, their thoughts, their experiences, and them as a person. And now you just release that mirror and have a conversation with this person, with your mom or whosoever the person is. Have a conversation that this is your truth. You behaved in this manner because of this and this happened to you. And it is your life experience. And since you love me so much that you never wanted me to experience this pain, you try to fix things up. You tried to fix things which were not even broken. And the intention and the pure, and I take and I leave all those forms of insecurities, those fears with you because it belongs to your life. It has nothing to do with me. And feel those beliefs leaving your body completely. Breathe it out fully from your body. And as you breathe it out, allow a new decision, a new belief which you would like to believe about yourself, which you would like to decide about yourself. Let that belief come in and let it come into your body. Let it find a place inside your body, which aligns with you, which has nothing to do with other people or their thoughts and experiences. Let this come to you. And as this belief starts integrating in your body, give it some time and then come back to the here and now. Any one of you would like to share something, or if you have questions, you're free to do that. The floor is open.
It's nice actually. It's different for me, though we both ended up doing the same thing in the end. But start was different for my story. Like,
Yeah.
uh, I was mostly neglected and abused as a child. Emotionally, there is nobody for me, and my primary caretaker was not my parents. And my parents never existed in my life. They preferred me to be invisible in their life, but they were more like the sponsor. One second, I have to take this. Can Payal continue? I'll come.
So for me, actually, the incidents which came in are very recent. It's like 1 month, probably.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Are you there? Yeah, actually, your video froze.
Yeah.
So one is just 1 month old, and one is about my hair, which is like 3 years. And what uh, what came was that my mother wants me to behave in a certain manner. जैसे अगर मैं इंसिडेंट बोलूँ वो अभी चंडीगढ़ से आए एंड शी ब्रॉट अस लॉट ऑफ स्टफ फ्रॉम देयर एंड उन्होंने मुझे दिया एंड शी वाज वेरी पोलाइटली गिविंग मी दिस मैसेज कि वो उन्होंने भेजा है तो फिर तुम उनको फोन कर देना और तुम उनको थैंक यू बोल देना एंड ऑल दैट so the way it was put across, I sense that she wanted me to behave in a certain manner because उनको वो approval चाहिए that my daughter said that and she behaves and वो good girl वाला. And I said I'll see because now I'm aware. So I did whatever I did, but मुझे वो अवेयरनेस थी एंड आई कुड वेरी क्लियरली सी कि जो अप्रूवल उनको चाहिए है दैट माय डॉटर बिहेव्स एंड शी इज अ गुड चाइल्ड वो जो मैन्यू सो कॉल्ड आई एम यूजिंग द वर्ड मैनिपुलेशन होता है आई वाज अवेयर ऑफ इट एंड दैट समवेयर स्टिल क्रिएट्स दिस कि ये क्यों आई क्वेश्चन दैट सो दैट इज वन एंड क्योंकि वो उनका पेरेंटिंग है वो जो एंड जो बिलीफ आया वो ये कि she wants to be in control. So the moment I do something which is out of her this frame of reference, she feels out of control. And that's where she wants me to behave in a certain manner. Especially when I stopped coloring my hairs, there was a lot of ridicule from her side because tum sundar nahi dikhogi. And because my husband has completely black hair. So so that was कि तुमने ये डिसीजन क्यों लिया है तुम सुंदर नहीं दिख रही हो तुम बड़ी दिख रही हो तुम whatever while nothing was coming from my husband and my daughter. So that was like one big incident that came in, and उसमें भी वही आया that she wanted me to look in a certain manner because she feels whatever she feels.
And when you were you able to put that mirror, and can you go back to that story why she wanted to behave that way?
Yeah, that's where it came in that she wants to be in control. So if I go out of her frame of reference, she feels out of control, and then she comes back again and she wants to control me. And when I am not, she's unable to control me, then she ridicules, then all those dialogues will come in, and the purpose intention is always that I behave in a manner which is where she feels in control, that those so-called norms are fulfilled. Your video is frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, actually your
Okay.
video is freezing again and again, so I don't know. Yeah, so I am probably the via medium to get her the approval that she wants from the society. Sneha, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So when
So
मुझे
yeah,
मुझे ये लगता है, so it is not about me. It is about the approval that she wants. And when I see that somewhere that dissonance comes in me, I don't feel loved. Then that's where I don't feel loved, because it is not about me. It is about something else. Whatever is being expected out of me is not for me. It's for all other reasons, but not me.
okay.
And that's where probably a rebellion kicks in, or a dissonance comes in. I still do whatever I want to do, and yet there are a set of residual emotions which remain, because as a child I don't feel loved, because I am not there, everything else is there.
You know, Payal, when we are raised with a parent who is very controlling,
Yeah.
behind control is fear,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And this fear propels them to control because they feel that if they will control things,
Hmm.
everything will be taken care of.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
However, what happens is when we try to control, we also try to forget that the other person is a living, breathing entity,
Hmm.
and they could have their own desires or choices. And if those desires and choices doesn't align with me,
Hmm.
then I have this urge to control just gets higher.
Hmm.
Okay? Because the fear is higher.
Hmm.
The fear of losing is very high.
Hmm.
And just see if this helps you that your mom is so scared to lose you
Hmm.
that she wants you to comply to each and everything she says.
Hmm.
How does this sound to you? How does this resonate to you?
So is it about losing me, or is it in general the fear of loss or
You don't
losing?
have to dissect it, just relate it to yourself because as a child, you felt unloved, right?
Yes, there was a
We
fear
have
of
to go
losing
through
me,
her
definitely.
history to find out the right answers.
Yeah, there
But,
was a fear of
uh,
losing me, definitely, because I am a born
yeah,
sick child. Yes.
yeah. So, can you just tell yourself and see if this works with you that, Mom, I know that you are so scared of losing me, and therefore you try to control my life. And I take this fear. Beyond this fear, I see that sadness inside,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Because emotions operate at levels. The first level could be aggression or control, but beneath it is the fear. Beneath that fear is an insecurity. Beneath that insecurity is a sadness or a grief. And that sadness is what will happen to me if I lose this person.
Okay. This
Okay?
sadness I'm not able to understand because again that is a fear. But what will happen to
Yes.
me?
What will happen to me? I will be left alone. And this feeling of being alone, or this feeling of being judged, that people will judge me, it gives me so much of pain that I want to shun it away and I want to control. Because that is how I feel I can keep safe. I can keep you safe. Because the idea behind control is to be in charge and keep the other person safe. So when you will see that, and if you will go to her childhood experiences and see from a very neutral eye, what kind of parents she had, what kind of parenting she had, what experiences shaped her, right? You will understand that this control is coming on you, and it is seen as a pleasing response to everyone else. For example, when she was trying to control you to say a thank you or a word of appreciation to the other person, she was controlling you. This was a felt sensation from your end, but eventually in the outer world, it was a pleasing response.
Right.
And why she was wanting to do that? So that she will be seen as how good her parenting is, and you will be giving that certificate to.
Right.
Okay. So the felt sensation of a child is very different. But when you see that psyche, because what exactly she wanted that acknowledgement and appreciation that how beautiful her parenting is, her mothering is, and how responsible her daughter is. It was all about her. And therefore you felt that I'm unseen. And when you will go back to her childhood, you may find pockets of incidences or events which showed that she is feeling unseen as a child.
Yes.
And because she could not be seen, the only way she understood that she could be seen and appreciated and loved is through controlling other person. So essentially, just like all the responses are about her, all the expectations which she has from you is also about her. It has nothing to do with you. And when you will let go of this burden that it has to do something with me, you will feel a lot lighter. Because she felt unseen, that was her language of love, that, you have to be in a certain way to be seen. For example, when she's complaining to you that you are not looking good because you are not coloring your hair, essentially she is worried and she is fearful that people will not like you. And you might have to go through that same pain which she has gone. And she's just trying to avoid that pain by telling you. So if you just see beneath that fear, beneath that judgment, beneath that fear is that pain that she doesn't want you to feel unseen. And that is what happens when we are operating unconsciously. We eventually pass on the same feelings which we have experienced. Like your mom felt unseen as a child and she just eventually passed it on to you by making you feel unseen too.
Yeah, so for me it operates at two levels, that I can understand that she's feeling whatever she's feeling, and yet the child in me wants her to maybe protect me. Suppose someone else is also saying, so she will tell me कि वो आंटी ऐसे कह रही थी, मतलब my nickname is मीनू, कि मीनू अच्छी नहीं लग रही है, ऐसा लग रहा है. So as a parent, as a child, I feel you are my mother. Why are you giving me those messages? As a child, that's what I feel. The child wants to be protected.
And that is not now the mother's responsibility to protect the child. it was the mother's responsibility to protect the child until the child was an adult. Now you are an adult. Now
No.
this is your responsibility to protect that inner child of you, which is still affected by
Yes.
her comments.
Hmm.
So for you, Payal, you have to go to that inner child of you.
Okay.
You have to, maybe you have to process those events or those incidents separately.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Okay. Okay. You voice is low.
Neha,
And tell that you
Neha, your voice is in slow
not be there
motion
at
and
that time the way
echoing.
you needed to. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Payal,
Yeah.
can
now
you
we
hear me?
can hear you in a normal way.
So the most
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I really don't know what is happening today with the internet because this has never happened before. I already have a UPS connected with the Wi-Fi so that even if the power goes, the internet stays. So anyway, so I was saying, Brian, that if you connect with that inner child of you, and maybe there are multiple incidents,
Right.
and it would be advisable that in such cases, you go to those incidents and connect with those child part of you,
Mm-hmm.
which felt invalidated, which felt unseen, which felt humiliated, which felt ignored, which felt disrespected. And when you connect with those inner children and you become that adult who is aware, who is conscious, then from there on, when once you integrate that inner child of yours, from there on, your response will be very different. Your felt sensation will be very different.
Hmm. I agree. So I am
Okay.
working on it in the sense that there are at least 4, 5 that I've seen recently in this month, and I am integrating them. So the
Yeah.
process is on, and I can see the difference. And yet I know that it's
It's way deeper, Payal. It's way
yes,
deeper.
yes, I know. So that's what it is. There's lots to be done. I can see the difference that since when we started and now there's a huge shift, and yet I know there's a long way to go.
And it is okay. We are here in this life to learn, to
Yes,
evolve. Okay. Anything else which you would like to share, Payal?
no, no. Thank you.
Okay. Suma, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. How was your experience? Sorry, it was cut, so I couldn't
Yeah,
listen to
yeah.
it clearly.
So basically, it's more like Amma Appa mostly played the role of sponsor. You know, the orphans will have sponsors, right? Where they'll get some money for education and all these needs to be met. And there is nobody who treated me like, I think all my life, I'm 28 now, till now, nobody sat with me like, uh,
Suma, your voice is
sorry,
cracking. Your voice is cracking.
I love somehow I also had and everything because I thought if I get those so-called grades consistently, if I get like whatever they want, maybe they sit with me for 2 minutes and ask like your day or like make me feel belonged, you know. And this
Suma, voice is cracking a lot. I can't hear you clearly. Suma, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Maybe you just log in
Hello?
again. Yeah, now I can hear you clearly.
Should I log
Yeah, you just log in again. I'll wait for you. Yeah, you just join the meeting again.
in?
Okay. I guess there is something collective in the energy today. Everyone is experiencing some kind of internet issues. So, Payal, you're on mute.
So I was just invoking the angels, please.
Can you
Suma, we can hear that you are saying something, but the voice is not clear. It's like it's fragmented and inaudible.
Can you leave me out of this meeting?
Now we can hear you clearly. The last sentence was crystal clear.
Can you leave me out of this meeting? I have to do it for myself.
I didn't got what you wanted to say.
Oh, how nice. What a great day.
Okay, Payal, you can. Thank you for being here. Yes, Suma, are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it is of no use.
Okay, no worries. Suma, do you have my WhatsApp number?
Yeah.
So let's connect over a WhatsApp call, okay? I will end the meeting and maybe that way you will be able to get your answers.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.